Yes, we are back again, but first it's important to ask how you all doing. I hope everybody is doing well. And also good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I wholeheartedly offer whatever such your time zone. It is another pregame show, and I hope you're all ready for it. A game that we'll all hope our team wins for us today because a win by the Chelsea boys will do us all a world of good. We need it given the current situation at the club. So I hope everybody is doing well and keeping safe. And yeah, it's another pre-game show. So we'll be looking to analyze the lineup and talk about Thomas Tuchel's selection. We'll be debating or discussing whether we're better off with some players on the pitch and some players off the pitch. That's what we do during the pre-game show. And we will also look at the opposition players, see if we're well equipped to deal with them. Stav, welcome back to Chelsea Perspective.
Good afternoon again. Well, it's afternoon for me.
Yes, yeah, right.
Yeah, have you seen the fifth stand?
Hmm.
Yeah, so they're saying 4-2-3-1.
Yeah, what I'm seeing here is okay. The fifth stand says 4-2-3-1.
Yep.
That's more like it. That sounds more like it because let's look at the lineup first. We have Mendy between the sticks. And first, I'd like to say thank you to FortMob. They are the owner of the app that I'm using. They don't pay me, and I don't pay them anything. It's just that the app makes the pregame shows seamless. It makes the process very seamless. And also, you can download the FortMob app if you use an Apple product, if you use an Android product, or if you're using Huawei product. It's very good and it has a lot of goodies. So I'd like you go check it out yourself. Now, the lineup staff, we have Mendy between the sticks. The back three, we have Antonio Rudiger, who was rested during the last game. As in the center, yeah, we have Malang Sarr. Okay, they've changed it to 4-2-3-1, so you were correct. We have Malang Sarr as in the left back position, Antonio Rudiger left center back, Andreas Christensen right center back, Trevor Chalobah right back, Jorginho and Kante the two sixes, and Kai Havertz left wing, Hakim Ziyech as number 10 proper in the middle, and Mason Mount right wing, and Timo Werner number 9. Stav, any surprises for you in this lineup?
No, not really. I suspect that Werner will be on the left and Havertz will be up top. That's just a suspicion.
So you don't trust this structure here showing as is shown on FODMAP?
No, I think because I think Werner's mobility and speed will probably have him out wide. I could be wrong. I have been known to be wrong, so.
Okay.
Other good news is Pulisic is on the bench. So
why is that a good news? Or you're saying the possibility of him coming on to impact the game? Was that what you're referring to?
Yeah, I think if he hadn't been ill, then he maybe would have started.
If he had, is he ill? Is he not feeling well?
No, he'd been ill during the week, hadn't he?
Sorry?
He'd been ill during the week.
Oh, I didn't hear that. I didn't know. Probably because I did not watch the press. I did not watch the press conference. But that's, by the way, before we start analyzing the lineup, let's talk about the opposition. How well do you know the Newcastle team? Do you want me to call out the lineup for you?
Yeah, go ahead.
They have the Bravka as the goalkeeper. They have on the left back position. They have Target. They have Bond left center back. I think they're playing 5 at the back. Then we have Byrne. We have Lascelles. I don't know how to. We have Shaw. We have Marquinhos right back. We have Murphy, Longstaff. Those are the midfielders. We have Guimaraes and Almiron, and then the attacker we have Wood. So I think they're missing John Shelby.
Yeah, they're missing what you call it as well. Oh, who's their striker? The one with the double-barreled name. I forgot his name now.
I'm not sure who you're talking about.
Say the front line again, because I can't see the team.
The midfield, they have that's the four in front of the defense. They have Murphy, right wing back or right wing, Longstaff and Guimaraes, the 2 6 if you like, or the two central midfielders, and then Almiron, I know is a tricky customer. He's got quick feet, he's quick, and also he can score good goals as the left wing. And then the number 9, they have Chris Wood. Chris Wood, that's the former Brighton guy, right?
Yeah. No, I think it's Burnley, isn't he?
But he played for Burnley before.
Yeah, target was Villa.
Mm-hmm.
Target was Aston Villa. Longstaff's homegrown. Bruno Guimaraes is a very good player. Lascelles is the other defender whose name you couldn't pronounce, who we were linked with a while ago. I think I was thinking of, is it St. Maxim, who's not playing?
St. Maxim is not there, and I haven't even seen. He's Alan St. Maxim is on the bench. Dwight Gale, I remember Dwight Gale, he's on the bench. Lucas De Boer, I don't know. Ryan Fraser, I know he's on the bench. Matt Ritchie is on the bench. I know Matt Ritchie. Paul Dumet is on the bench, and Carl Dolov. So even this guy is not on the bench. What's his name? John Shelby, because I dread his luck. He's got some good passes in him.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Sam.
Did you mention? Oh, I forgot now. Sorry, don't worry. I'm not bothered about them anyway. It's going to be a tight game as far as I'm concerned. Glad to see Ziyech back in. Having 3 behind the striker means there's going to be plenty of movement there. I'm assuming that Ziyech will be allowed to drift out wide. I want him to boss the game, basically, attack-wise.
Yeah, I think he has the opportunity to do that there. And I think here's why, most importantly, I like the fact that Hakim... I think our players, the fact that Ziyech is on the pitch is that his ability to shoot from outside the 18, that gives me confidence, because it doesn't look like we will have joy in terms of spaces in behind the Newcastle defense. They are playing 5 defenders, 5 backline, so it's going to be difficult for us to penetrate. And in the midfield area, they're probably looking to hit us on a break, and they're pretty good at it. And I want to say welcome to the show to Bobby Fairview, who's been out, and I hope you're fine, brother. And I appreciate you the other day asking how I was doing, given the situation that I don't want to talk about right now. And also, IZZ2, who do you think is going to score today? I'm not sure. We'll talk about that later towards the end of the show. Midfield doesn't look balanced. Let's talk about this. I think, Bobby, are you referring to the Chelsea midfield? If that's the case, I'd say yes, it doesn't look balanced. Probably for me, the absence of Mateo Kovacic. So I know, you know, we like to be interactive here, Sav. So we will take this, we will address this comment here from Bobby Fairview. What do you think? That he's saying the midfield isn't balanced. And look at his next comment also.
Yeah, go on.
He said, yes, sir, Ziyech on the left. So you go ahead and address the comment.
Yeah, okay, with the midfield, I think you know my feelings with the midfield, especially if it's going to be pressed. So there is a misbalance there. And I'll say something else as well. When Jorginho is under pressure, there's less protection for the defence, and the defence become a bit shaky as well themselves, and that transmits to Mendy and all, because he's always rushing things and he's trying to over-elaborate. He got caught out a couple of times the other day with his kicking, with his feet. So, but yeah, I would preferred it to have been with with Kovacic in there.
Yeah,
But
cover
it is
makes
what
a
it is.
huge difference because here's where I'm concerned. Clearly, Newcastle, they're not here to play. They will defend really, really deep. And the way the way they're set up with that cover seat, I think we're going to find it really difficult to progress the ball because usually that happens whenever he's not on the pitch, and if opponents if they press us aggressively or if they defend deep, we do find it very difficult to progress the ball. So I am with you on that one. So, but I wanted to ask you before we started looking at Bobby's comment. What do you think about this formation? Why
Um,
4-3-3?
I think it's more attacking. I think it's a response to the fact that they're likely to defend in numbers. I think Ziyech will probably have a more free role, possibly playing the role that Pulisic was playing. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. I don't have any problems with that. I like the fact that we've got 4 people attacking. You've got Kante who can drive with the ball as well. So I'm okay with it. At the end of the day, I think Sarr and who's on the other side?
On the left-hand side, or you want to know
Right.
about the back four?
Yeah.
For the back four, the 2 center halves are Rudiger, Christensen, left back Malang Sarr, right back Chalobah.
Yeah. They're going to sit more, aren't they? Sarr and Chalobah. They ain't going to progress, so that's why he's playing the 3 behind the striker or the false 9. So I don't think he's expecting them to go further forward. So I don't mind it.
He'd like us to attack, but we have to be cautious. We have to be defensively cautious because these guys are very quick. Murphy, Longstaff, Almiron also, who I've talked about, is a tricky customer. He's got quick feet. He can finish. Go ahead. You were saying something, Stav.
Yeah, I actually like it because he's showing a trust, isn't he? At the end of the day, in a back 4, the fact that maybe he hasn't got wing backs may have forced him into this formation, but at least he's showing some adaptability. He's showing he could have tried to force people to play at wing back, right. But he's shown some adaptability and he's changing the formation. And I don't think Newcastle United would have expected that formation anyway. So I think it'll be a surprise to them as well. And obviously, if they're going to sit with 5, you've got to have a few more people getting in the pitch.
And then Bobby says a cover on the left and Ziyech on the right might have made more sense. What do you think about that?
Yeah, like I said, I think Ziyech's going to have a free role.
Ziyech is fine. He's saying. Look, remember, he said cover on the left and Ziyech on the right might have made more sense. We already have Ziyech, but we missing Kovacic. So what do you think about this comment from Bobby here?
Well, what does he mean by on the left? Does he mean left of the 3?
No, at least the in front of the defense. I think that's what he's referring
to. Yeah. Well, yeah, I've already answered that. You know who I prefer to be in there, right? And I've given my reasons often enough. I just don't think. I just don't think that Jorginho is suited to when he's getting pressed. And
that's for sure. But I think he has his assurance there. He has what's his name?
Kante.
Kante. With Kante on the pitch, he usually does well.
Yeah, it's not. Look, it's not just the fact that he can be caught out when he's pressed, right? And I realise that people say he controls the tempo of the game and stuff like that. But when we're at home, and the onus is on us to attack, the tempo has to be quicker, right? And we're playing with 4 three behind a 9 or a false 9, depending. Obviously, depending where Werner and Havertz are going to be playing, right? Their tempo has to be quick. It has to be quick. That's where we thrive, when we move the ball quickly. And that's how we open teams up. And if the ball's going through Jorginho and he's going to be slow, then I might have issues with that as well. But I don't want to be too critical or too negative about Jorginho. Hopefully he'll have a good game. His passing will be okay and stuff like that. But I'd like him to do things a bit quicker than he really does. So,
yeah, I think I get your point, but I think you could say him being there, Tuchel is more is also he also wants to control the game, and that's important. But again, I get your point of us moving the ball quickly. That's where I'm concerned. Why start Mason Mount there? I'd rather start him further forward and drop Timo to the bench, and then be sure that Kovacic is on the bench, is on the pitch. What do you think? And Bobby even says here Newcastle will probably sit back. Maybe Mount would drop into left side midfield, and Ziyech will play attacking right side. That's where Ziyech is already in the structure, but he probably have the freedom to roam about on the pitch. So, Stab, don't you think would have been better off Mount playing further forward, where Timo Werner is right now? Let me show the screen where Timo Werner is right now, and then with Kovacic being here, just like Bobby Fairview suggested, I think would be better, but would have a better, more balanced midfield.
Where is Mount playing?
Mount is playing as one of the threes in front of the back four.
Sorry, he's playing in the 3. Mount I'm on about.
Yeah.
Where's he playing?
The three in front of the back four.
So you're telling me it's actually a 4-3-2-1?
No, it's 4-3-3. Back four again. Let me read it out to you. The two centre backs are Rudiger, Christensen. Left backs are right back Chalobah. Then left midfield, you can call it that, not left wing, Mount. Then the lone 6 there, Regista or whatever you want to call it, Jorginho. Then on the right hand side we have Kante. It is 4-3-3.
All right. Well, the thing is, Fifth Stand is called it differently.
What did they say?
They said 4-2-3-1.
That could possibly be the correct structure, because these guys in most cases they get it wrong. So that sounds more like it. That sounds like more like it, because Jorginho and Kante as the 2 60s, and then I think it makes sense. What you said makes sense. Go ahead.
I don't have an issue with either formation, right? 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3. Right? I don't have a problem with Mason Mount sitting in a 3 in the midfield, because that's his natural position, right? He's actually a midfielder, not a winger. Right? He's not a 10 or an 8 or a 9 or whatever. His natural position is midfield, right? And if you remember, I think was it a couple of games ago, he dropped into the midfield when he was playing in the front 3, and then he got back into midfield, and we went with the 3 and then 2 up top, right? And it worked well. So, but the thing is, if he plays in the midfield 3 and he gets forward, he can take up any position, and then that allows whoever's playing in the 2 to go out wide, right? And then you've got Kante and you've got Mason Mount coming in behind them. So I'm okay with both systems. I wouldn't have a problem with switching from one to the other in mid-game. And it could be that the situation is that you'll have a 3 when we're not in possession, with Mason Mount dropping in. And then you have a 2 when we've got the possession with Mount pushing. But like we say, every single game, nobody can read Tuchel's mind. But that's, I don't have a problem. 4-3-3.
Yeah, go ahead.
4-3-3-1, 4-3-3, sorry, 4-2-3-1. I don't have a problem with either. And it gives us flexibility. And sometimes Mason's better coming from deeper and not getting picked up. And also he showed with his goal the other day that he's quite good at turning and facing goal and shooting. So I have no problem. Anything that gives them problems is fine by me. And anything that gives us flexibility and allows us to change systems during the game as well. So that's okay.
And Bobby says, go ahead.
Is Silva not on the bench?
He's on the bench. We'll talk about that. I wanted to say, Bobby says, that's a different formation on TV. They have Ziyech left midfield and Mount in the right. That's probably the most correct because usually, I'm not sure Mount operates on the right-hand side mainly, but that's, by the way, we're never sure what it's going to be. It's going, again, like Steve here has established, it's always difficult to correctly predict what Thomas Tuchel will do. He's unpredictable in terms of his selection, in terms of the structure of the team. Sometimes
what channel's
you think
Bobby watching? What channel's Bobby watching it on?
I'm not sure. Sometimes when you think it's one structure, when the game starts, everything changes altogether. So now let's talk about.
Can I ask a question? Is
yes.
Bobby in the US?
No, Canada.
Right, so he's probably watching it on the Canadian channel, CN, I think, something like that.
So, go ahead.
They'll make their own assumptions of what the system is, right? Just like Sky will. I'm pretty sure that Fifth Stand is making an assumption as well, right? Because Fifth Stand is run by somebody external, so they get the team and they'll make an assessment of what they think. So could be anything. If I was leaning towards something, I would lean towards a 4-3-3 if I was trying to think on Tuchel's level.
So let's talk about this. Why isn't Thiago Silva start? Why is he on the bench?
Probably because he thinks he's played too much. He's had too much game time, and he's trying to rest him a bit. I would imagine Wednesday's game's coming into the thought process.
The Champions League, yeah.
Yeah, but I think that, well, he's played against Lille now, he's seen them, and maybe he has his own ideas, Tuchel, of what he needs on a Wednesday. But at this stage of the season, I'd rather just see him picking the best team every game that he can. And I probably, well, I don't know. We'll have to trust in Christensen. I would have preferred Silva next to Rudiger, but maybe he believes that Silva's better suited with a 3, and because he's gone with a 4, he's decided to leave Silva out and rest him. But he can always come on. But the problem is, if you're going to bring a central defender on, it's usually because someone's got injured. It's not often you change central defenders, or somebody's made a really...
That doesn't happen too often. I'm reading Tuchel in the Fifth Stand app where it says Tuchel explains today's selection. He says something about first asked to explain today's selection ahead of the game. The boss was honest in his response. He says, we are running out a little bit of right wing backs, Tuchel stated, and that's probably the reason why he was forced to change the formation. If he had Reece James available, I still think he'd play a 3 at the back system. So now, then he says, they say Reece James has, unfortunately, we all know about that. Injured, Aspie is out. So the 2 guys that could have played the wing back positions, they're not available. So he probably was forced to change the formation. And he said Christian Pulisic has only just come back and is on the bench. So we've had to be a little bit, and you mentioned Pulisic being sick. I didn't know about that, probably because I missed the press. And let's see how this plays out today. Newcastle play with a back 5. Yep, strictly, like we can see on the screen. So, Stav, the fact is, we don't have wing backs, but why play? Is there? Let me see who we have on the bench. We have Kapatia, Silva Sago Nuguez, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Ross Barkley. Nobody else could have, been better suited for the right back position except Chalobah, given what we have available. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, he's played there in his youth years as well, so it's not like totally barren to him. And he's pretty quick, isn't he? So he's got the pace to keep up with their attack. I think that's what he's gone for.
And given the midfield, Tuchel says in his explanation why he switched position, he mentioned 4-3-3, and the fifth stand up also mentioned 4-3-3. So, given this structure, do you think this is a placement with Mount on the left, Jorginho as the lone pivot, and then Kante to the right? Do you think that's the structure really? Does it make sense for Kante to stay on the right-hand side there? Is it for the purpose of helping deal with, what's his name, Almiron?
Yeah, he's probably there to give protection to Chalobah a bit as well. So, yeah, I mean, the thing is, Mason can start on the left. Doesn't mean that's where he's going to stay, does it? So,
No, it doesn't mean, yeah.
Like I said, I think Mason will probably... Looking at it now, maybe Mason's going to be the one who's got the free roll and he can drift forward and he can either go left or right. Whether he provides any protection to Sarr is debatable. I don't know. Honestly, it's always complicated because when you haven't got the full squad available, it's harder to judge why certain players have been picked. So, but yeah, I think Mason will probably have free roll where he can drift forward. Kante possibly on the right, although they could swap. I think you're going to have Jorginho in the centre, the register as you call him, and then you're going to have probably Kante and Mason will swap round at times, and when you might find Mason on the right, Kante on the left, and then they won't stay rigid to what's being shown on the screen. So they'll swap as well.
I think it's important, to note that it's a very, very fluid front three. Given they've demonstrated that of late, and every time they've played together, I think we seem to have a more fluid attack, and also midfield. But let me ask, like I've explained before, Kante standing on the right, if that's really the structure, is probably designed to help deal with Almiron, who's very quick. He's got quick feet, and he can do some damage if you give him the space to do so. So but another thing I want to talk about, let's look at this comment on the screen by Almighty Blues. He says, surprised with Werner starting, to be honest. Chalobah can do a job. So can Christensen at right back. Not ideal, but it is what it is. Yeah, exactly. We have to make do with what we have. But let's bring it to the first part of the sentence. Why is Werner starting? Has it done enough to start games of late?
Because Pulisic can't start.
But he's on the bench.
But he obviously doesn't want to start him, and he has misgivings about his being fully fit. So Werner's more mobile than you could have put Havertz there and played Lukaku up top, but that gives us less mobility and fluidity. So I think that's why he's gone with Werner. Yeah, don't be surprised if Werner doesn't finish the game.
You think he will make way for Lukaku to come in?
No, he could make way for Pulisic to come in. Maybe he doesn't want to give Pulisic. He doesn't want to start Pulisic, right? And then he's not fully fit, and then he has to make an early change, right? So he's gambling on Werner. But I think we're being a bit unfair to Werner, considering that he's had COVID, he's been rotated, he's been left out a lot.
No, but we have to be objective here. We have to talk about his form. That's why I'm asking if he's done enough to start this game over Lukaku. You could argue even though Lukaku is faltering of late, he's done better than Werner or Werner overall since his arrival at least.
Well, he obviously, Tuchel obviously fancies having Havertz up top, so you can't play Lukaku on the left or the right, can you? The only other way around it would have been if he'd have played say a 4-4-2, which means he can then have Lukaku and Havertz up top, and then you have the wingers in Ziyech and Pulisic if he'd have been fully fit. He obviously likes Havertz up top. So
okay,
that's why.
Let me ask it this way, because we were talking about Timo Werner, and let me just highlight the comment immediately. Sorry if I can address Havertz is playing a bit too much for me. As much as he's been great, hoping he will be 100%. Yeah, I think he will be. I think he plays. I think he preserves energy when he plays. He runs. His runs are very well calculated. He doesn't just run unnecessarily. I think he covers a lot of ground, but he presses very well. But I think he will be fine. There's a comment that I saw here. Yes, he says something. All Loftus-Cheek physically in midfield could have been used too, closest to cover in terms of ball progression as well. For some reason, Ruben Loftus-Cheek has been played as right wing back, even center back. So yeah, but before I come to that, don't you think would be better? I think the formation they changed it again. Kai Havertz is now on the left with Timo Werner in the middle. So I think they're not sure what's going on here. But let me say this. How about Loftus-Cheek instead of Mount where Mount is in Timo Werner making way for Kai Havertz to be in the central position?
Is Loftus-Cheek on the bench?
He's on the bench. I think he is. Let me check it again. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, he's on the bench. So and he's shown that he's done well whenever he gets the chance to play. Go ahead. You were saying something?
Yeah, didn't he have a slight Achilles problem?
Yeah, but he's played the last two games as a substitute. He started the other one, and he's done quite well. So my point is, why not Ruben Loftus-Cheek, take off Werner, play Havertz centrally. You can play the Ruben Loftus-Cheek deeper, and then Mason Mount further forward. What do you think?
We don't know the level of fitness, do we? He's down to the bare bones. He's picking a team that he thinks will be the most effective. Maybe he doesn't think that Ruben's got 90 minutes in him. We have to remember that some of these players on the bench are not going to be 100%, and starting them and then having to make changes early on, right, isn't conducive, is it? Like, you don't need to be changing somebody 20 minutes into the game or half an hour into the game and things like that. So, without knowing, because in his when he has been doing interviews, Tuchel's been saying that he had up to 6 doubtful. Yeah, so if 6 of them were doubtful, and then you've got Chilwell who's 7 because he's out. Right, you're suddenly starting to get down to bare bones, and he's going to pick a team that he thinks will be most effective against Newcastle, and he doesn't want to make changes too early. So without knowing their fitness levels, right, or any issues they may have, you can't really gauge anything. I can see that.
Let me say this. I understand your argument there. Let me say this. Don't you think that Werner, if he does better, I take it. That's me being a factual here. But I think he's going to struggle because Werner operates with space, lots of spaces. One-on-one, he really sucks. When it's one-on-one, he hardly beats his man and probably will look to pass the ball backwards or sideways. But he hardly beats his man one-on-one, except in behind the defender. He can outrun the defender. and gets, finds himself one-on-one with the goalkeeper. But the question is, Stab, you know Timo Werner very well, and you know quite well that he needs space to do well. He operates with space. Without spaces, he struggles. And given the fact that Newcastle United are playing 5 players at the back, and it gets worse, they're playing 4 midfielders, of which they'll be paying attention to Chelsea players and will all drop back to frustrate us. Why start Timo Werner? I'd rather play Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who can dribble his way out of tight spaces, no matter how the opposition play. And that's why I like this comment by Almighty Blue FC. Great channel, and please, if you haven't, go check out his channel. He talks about Ruben Loftus-Cheek physicality, his closeness to Kovacic in terms of progressing the ball. Why not start him? He's not longer injured. Why not start him over Timo Werner, who cannot do well when the spaces are tight? Over to you, Stav. You tell me.
I'm pretty sure that he was included in the list of 6 doubtfuls. Right? Yes. So, again, I can only go back to what I've just said. We're unaware of who is fully fit or who is there to make up numbers, who's only got... Because you have to remember, right, that when Lukaku first came to the club, he had a muscle injury, and he was advised by the medical team not to overstretch him, right, and not play him too much. So Tuchel takes notice of these things. It goes back to what I said before about the Real Madrid medical department, right, with Hazard and Bale. Right?
Let's keep it to that.
No, I am keeping it to that. What I'm saying is, dear, right, is we are different. Right? We are different. We are not going to risk players from the beginning of a game. Right?
Can you tell me how playing Loftus-Cheek in place of Werner is a risk? And before you continue, I'd like to say welcome to the chat to one of the queens of Chelsea perspective, my sister Chichi Dalo. You're always welcome. So go ahead, Stav. Can you tell me why playing Ruben Loftus-Cheek over Timo Werner is a risk? I want to know.
Because we don't know if he's got 90 minutes in him. Simple as that. Look, right. Timo Werner's main problem is when he has to overthink things. Right. It's not just about his control. It's when he has to go into a thought process.
That's another point. Go ahead.
Yeah, right. And he has to think things. But the thing is, right, if he gets in behind, right, his movement will come in about getting in between the 2, the 4 and the 5 at the back. Right, the media are making an assumption that that's how they're going to play with a 4 and a 5. Right, that's just an assumption, which is what makes things even more difficult for us. But if they do go that, the 4 are not going to sit right in front of the 5, are they? They're not going to be on top of each other. There's going to be spaces between the 2, and that's where he goes to exploit the space, right, and drag defenders out from the back 5. Right, it's about pulling people out and creating spaces for the others who are playing as well. And it'll be the same thing with Ziyech. Ziyech will drift wide, right? He'll try and get in between the 2 lines, the line of 4 and the line of 5. He'll drift wide and try and drag out, right? And let's face it, Ziyech normally gets 2 players on him. So he's always going to, even if they've got 5 at the back, he's going to drag 2 with him. So that opens a space again, right? If they're going to play with a 4 and a 5 and sit, they're going to do it with the spaces in between. And that's how we've got to get in between those spaces, exploit them, and then try and get in behind them or have a shot from that space in there, right? So I can't see them having 9 men just sitting back, right, on top of each other. You've got to have the movement, the fluidity, and that's why I was worried about the tempo as well. Because to do that, you need a quick tempo. So that's the way we're going to have to break them down.
Yeah.
You've got to get between the 4 and the 5, right? Then drag people out from the 5 and create spaces, which then allows Mason Mount and Kante to come and exploit those spaces as well. That's the only thing I can see.
Yeah, that makes sense. And yeah, Chichi, the formation is 4-3-3, as you can see on the screen. But Stav is saying it's different. Stav, did you say it is different on the fifth stand up?
Yeah, the fifth stand said it was 4-2-3-1.
4-2-3-1. Okay, let's look at this comment here from Chichi Eze. I think she's referring to Bobby's comment here, which says, Sporting coach, I don't get the Werner selection with 5 players sitting back. And now Chichi says, in response to what Bobby says, she says that Bobby, maybe because he's the only one only one out of all the attackers that hasn't played that much. Do you agree Werner starting this because he hasn't played that much? I mean, we have to play our best players. It doesn't matter whether a player has played or not. What do you think, Stav?
Sorry, I couldn't hear it clearly. I'm getting feedback. I don't know if it's your
Bobby
microphone.
was arguing. Bobby agreed with my argument that Werner shouldn't have started, given the fact that Newcastle are playing 5 defenders, and Werner only does better when he has spaces in behind the opposition defense, and that's not the case here. And be mindful, we're just counting the 5 defenders. We must know that once the game starts, if we have the ball, we have this 4 players here join the 5 players here to make them 9 players defending for Newcastle United. So that was why I argued, why start Werner? Well, we all know that Werner doesn't do well when there are no spaces to operate. Then Bobby agreed with me saying, Sporting coach, I don't get the Werner selection with 5 players sitting back for Newcastle United. So Chichi now is countering Bobby's argument saying, or concern saying, maybe because Werner is the only one out of all our attackers that hasn't played consistently. Do you think Werner is starting because he hasn't played games consistently?
Right, look, well, we always fall into this trap, right?
Yes.
That certain players haven't played with other certain players. There's no chemistry, etc., right? Well, they've all been playing together for 2 years, okay? We only brought Saul and Lukaku in who were new. They all train together, right? They all play together, right? When they're training, they have small-sided games. They all understand each other's movements and how they operate and how they function, right? And again, I have to say that we don't know the fitness levels of other people, and you don't want to be starting someone who could just pull up and risk them, and then you've got to make a change early on, right? He's showing his trust in Werner, isn't he, as well? And he's got to show Werner some trust, okay? And I don't think that he's as bad as people are making out yet. I mean, his touch recently has been a bit off, right? But that comes from not being in the team. That comes from not playing actual match sharpness and stuff like that. It's a gamble, obviously, right, with match sharpness. But I trust him. At the end of the day, I trust him. And I think the team's been picked so that Harvard can have some freedom up top, right? He's the one who has to get in behind the 5, right? Werner and Ziyech are the ones who have to open them up and get him into those positions. And then obviously Mason and Kante supporting as well. But they can sit back with a 5, they can sit back with a 4, but they're not going to be constantly close to each other. It'll be that 4 will be slightly higher up the pitch, so there will be spaces in there. And that's, you go in, like I said, between the 2 lines, you try and exploit the spaces behind the 4, and you try to drag people out from that 5 and create opportunities and spaces. And obviously we're going to have the ability to shoot from distance as well at times. We know Mount, if he gets it right, can shoot from distance, right? We've seen Kante shoot from distance, right, and succeed. And we know they can do it. So it's about breaking them down. So we have to have that movement, that fluidity. And you could have, like I said, you could have played Lukaku up the front top, right, and had Havertz going out to the left, Ziyech to the right. But he obviously fancies Havertz as a false nine, right? So he's gambling on Havertz doing his job. I mean, this
I
lot.
wouldn't really say it's a gamble because Havertz has done well in that position. I think what I like the most about Kai Havertz is that he makes the most of the slightest of spaces he finds on the pitch. And before you realize what's happening, I think he's done some damage. And there's something we don't give Havertz credit for. I think he's a creator too. He's not just a finisher. He's a creator too. But go ahead, Stav.
Yeah, it's it. Like I said, there's a lot of things that we have to take into account, right? Like I said, the fitness levels, etc., etc. The assumptions by pundits and media as to what systems are going to be used. Yeah. So it's a whole conundrum of things that we are not a party to, right? And we're just basing things on what we're being told by pundits. The positions we're going to play and stuff like that, and the positions that Newcastle are going to play. Right? I mean, I read that he's rotated the Newcastle team heavily. That he's made rotations. The fact that St. Maximum isn't starting suggests that there will be more counter and they will sit deep, right? And
yeah, he wants to be even more direct.
Yeah, right. And so by that, I think that's how Tuchel sees us opening them up and getting.
And just to inform people, in 3 minutes' time, if you're watching on Twitter or on Facebook, if you want to participate in the giveaway, in 3 minutes' time, we'll be doing a giveaway. You join us here. If you haven't won it before, then you can be part of it. If you've won it before, then you're disqualified from participating. And also, but you must be with us on YouTube to participate in the giveaway. Unfortunately, we cannot do a Chelsea authentic polo shirt this time. We'll do cashes only if you win it. If you're lucky enough to become the winner, you get the cash equivalent of the authentic Chelsea polo shirt because the store is closed, and that's where we can only get that brand that we talked about. So, Sam, let's see what we have in the chat here. Mikhail just made me laugh a little bit. What was decided? Trivago shirt, possibly, because they've been with us. They say that they're going to stick with us. They're not going to give up on us. And who else again says they were going to stick with us as that?
Yeah, Trivago and Nike.
Yeah, those have good business sense. I think they know the whole thing will eventually pass.
Well,
my prediction, as always, whoever scores more will win. Yeah, good one. I get it. Go ahead, Stal. You were saying something.
Yeah, well, the thing is, 3's a British company, so they're pandering to the government, aren't they? Right? Hyundai have pulled out as well. They've suspended the sleeve sponsorship. Right? But that's totally irrelevant because there's only 2 months left on the deal anyway. So it's not really relevant. Can I just...
Go ahead, you wanted to say something?
Can I just say something regarding
go ahead.
Regarding what we were discussing this morning, right? With the bids, the bidding that's going to be on. Nick Candy has been quoted as saying that if his consortium win, right, he will have a supporter on the board. Right, a supporters representative will be on the board. Yeah, and he's also stated that if Chelsea are having difficulties financially at this moment in time, as long as the government don't say no, that he's willing to give the club some funds to continue operating. So that's just that. So I think he's a serious one, and if he can get the backing, he'll come in. So that's I just thought I'd mention that because I read it just before I come on
Yeah,
live.
let me just quickly. If you're in the chat, here's what you type. You type this to participate in the giveaway. Just as exactly as I'm typing it. And Chi, after typing it, and anybody that has moderator access, please delete my message. So I'm not part of the giveaway. That is what you type to participate. It says, thank you, Roman. Type yours so that you'll be part of the giveaway. And if you're watching on Facebook or on Twitter, to be part of the giveaway, join us on YouTube. And the link to join is here because I usually forget to put the link there. Click through this link. I think you'll see the comment wherever you're watching from us. Here is it. Join us on YouTube via this link to participate in the giveaway. Again, we're not going to give the shirt. We'll give the cash equivalent because the Chelsea Mega Shop store is closed at this point. And what you type will be thank you, Roman, so you'll be part of it. So I'll wait a bit for some people to type there. So go ahead, Astar.
Yeah, so other couple of bits of tidbit news. Congratulations to the under-18s on reaching the EPL youth final. They won 5-1 yesterday. The ladies' team is currently 0-0 at half-time against Aston Villa. I didn't notice if they had 3 on the shirts or not because I was looking at the mobile more than the TV. So that's that. Today, I'm not sure if I mentioned it before, today's game is a sellout because the game was sold out before Thursday. So that's one less headache. That's it pretty much really. Prediction 2-1 Chelsea.
All right, so the predictions 2-1. So let's go ahead and do it. Thank you, Roman. I have that. Okay, start collecting. Let's see how many participants we're going to have there. We have just 4 participants, and I'm going to run it because that's the promise. Let me just go back again, give people 1 more minute to join if you want to. You just type thank you, Roman, as you see on the screen by Eric Blue. Okay, so again, collect. We have just 4 participants. I'm going to go ahead and do the draw. Okay, and congratulations to Eric Blue. You're the winner of our giveaway. And so I will speak with you via Twitter.
There's Mikhail on the screen.
Oh, Mikhail, sorry, that's me. Oh, my goodness, I apologize. Mikhail will say maybe I didn't want him to win it in the first place. So congratulations to Mikhail. You're the winner for the giveaway today. And again, I hope to see you guys for the Blue Morning Show tomorrow and also the next pregame show. You've been great. Thank you so much to the queens of Chelsea Perspective, Just Viola, Chichi, Eze, again, Dalo. And hopefully you get a chance to win the giveaway someday because you participated 3 times now and you haven't won. Thank you, Mikhail. Thank you, Eric Blue. Thank you, Judge Pong. If you're joining late, you can just come subscribe to the channel and you get a chance to participate next time. Yeah, it's Mikhail, and I wanted to give it to my brother, Eric Blue, but I was caught. So, yeah, thank you to Almighty Blues FC, everybody that have joined. Hopefully our boys will get a win today because that would do us a world of good. And then from me, and again, thank you, Star, for always being available to be part of the panel. That means a lot to me. Star, any final thoughts so that we can just round off? We have 4 minutes, please.
No, I will say, but this morning when we were having this program, this lunchtime, morning, evening, depending where you are, we mentioned a certain ex-player, and we complimented a lot of people who backed the club and Roman, right? And one we totally missed out was Antonio Conte, right? He's at a main rival club, right? For London, for Chelsea fans, that's the
Yeah, I
biggest
think
rival.
let's talk about that during Blue Morning tomorrow because just 4 minutes before the game starts. What do you think, Stan?
I already told you, 2-1 Chelsea.
Okay, so just say let's talk about what the topic you're touching on right now tomorrow during the Blue Morning show because it's just 3 minutes before the game starts. What do you think? You're fine, right?
Yeah, I'm fine. I think we'll find it tough, but I think we'll come out on top 2-1.
All right. Thank you very much. And again,
I
I don't think we will concede today. I think we're solid defensively, and we have our Kante to help protect the defense. With that, I say goodbye to everyone. God bless you all, and please stay safe. And let's keep praying for peace in Ukraine. Thank you. See you guys in the Blue Morning Show tomorrow. Bye.
Right.